Okay, so I'll just start from the beginning. So whatever we have studied, whatever introduction part that we have studied, I'll just have a brief um, recap of what we have studied. Okay, so let's start. Okay, let me open a new section. Chalo. Okay. Okay. So in last class, we have started with the medium versus modality. We'll study about the multimodal term later. So let us first see what a medium is and what a modality is and what are the difference between them. Okay. So as I told you in last class, a medium is a technical means to store, transfer, and convey information. Okay, so for example, a physical channel. So physical channel can be, for example, air, light, etc. Okay, so for instance, in case of your acoustic, in order to transfer your voice or any kind of music, so air is the physical channel or air is the medium. And for example, if you are seeing some visual or in order to see some visual information, you use this medium light. Okay, so this is what is the definition of medium. So next we have seen what is a modality. So modality is a human sensory channel. Human sensory channel. So we have also seen that there are several channels. So the first one is your visual channel. So second is auditory, which is your hearing. So third is the olfactory, which is nothing but your, you can say, smell. Fourth is the haptic channel, which is nothing but the touch. So fifth is gustatory channel, which gives you the taste. And the last one is the your balance perception, or you call it to be vestibular. So balance. Okay, so these are the 6 channels which defines a modality. So modality is a human sensory channel. So also we have seen various human sensors. Let me draw a table. So you have different senses, say vision, hearing, touch, olfaction, then taste, well, and then your balance. So I'm writing it over here. Then what are the organs associated with that? So eyes, your hearing is ears, touch is your skin, nose, tongue, and this is your equilibrium organization or your human body. Okay, equilibrium organ. So next, so in terms of your modality, what you call it, we have already seen above. Okay, so in terms of modality, what you call it, visual, auditory. So you will be using these terms while defining modality. Okay, instead of touch, hearing, and so on. So in terms of your modality, you will be referring to this as visual, auditory, haptic, then is your olfactory, then gustatory, and vestibular. Okay, and what is the sensor? So this is in terms of your human. Okay, so this is in terms of your human perception, and this is in terms of how you define modality when you want to define a system. Okay, so visual, for example, what is the sensor that is being used? That is your camera. So in human we use these eyes for the vision, whereas in case of your system, when you define it in terms of your system, the sensor will be camera, or or anything which is which provides you the visual perception. Okay, so auditory is, for example, microphone. Okay, so this modality is related with this sense, and this organ is similar to that of your this sensor. Then you, for your haptic, you have your skin is your touch screen, gloves. Okay, touch screen, gloves. Okay, and temperature sensor and so on. Okay. Similarly, for this three is still the researchers have been mostly carried out using this eyes, ears, and skins. Okay, so the senses related to that has been displayed over here. Next, for example, what is the application? Okay, example or applications related to this particular modality. So applications, can anyone tell me, for example, in case of visual, what is the applications? You have gesture. Okay, you have 3D gesture. You have face recognition. Okay, okay, done using your camera. Okay, then using your microphone, that is speech recognition. Okay, everything comes here. It's gesture recognition, face recognition, text recognitions, and so on. And using microphone, you have the speech recognition. Then your this skin, you have posture or motion recognition. We'll study these applications one by one. Okay, when we study each modality. So etc. So these are so it has not been explained. So since your nose, tongue, and the balance are less used, now they are used in most of the games. That is in balance. The balance perception has been used now, so you can write similar examples related to that particular modality. Okay, so these were some examples related or applications related to that particular modality. So so you can say, or just you can summarize that modality is all about the capability of the systems. Okay, modality. What is a modality? Modality is all about the capability of the system to mimic such human sensory channel. Okay, so next let us move on to what is a, so this was the in general definition about what a medium is and what a modality is. Okay, so next let us define what is a multimedia. Okay, and what is a multimodality. Okay, so can anyone tell me? Okay, let me write down the names. TV, then you have movie hall or any concert hall. Then you have a smartphone. Okay. Then, for example, a PC or your desktop. Okay, or your desktop. So now tell me, can anyone tell me this is TV a multimedia or multimodality? So let me first give you the definition so that you are able to distinguish them. It's a multimedia. So these two terms are a bit different. Once I write the definition, it will be clear how you can distinguish a particular system or a device into multimedia or multimodality. Okay, so multimedia, we already know the definition of medium. Okay, so multimedia, as the name implies, it's a multiple media. Okay, multiple medium is used here. So we have already seen that medium is a technical means to store, transfer, and convey information. So what is multimedia? Multimedia is a system, or multimedia system uh, it is a system with more than one way to transport or transfer information from the system to user. Okay. Okay. So multimedia, so it is a system with more than one way to transfer information from the system to the user. So I'll write down what a multimodality is. Multimodality, a system that can stimulate more than one human sensory channel. Okay, so let us take the example of first a television. Okay, so a television has a screen and a loudspeaker. Okay, so it has a screen as well as a loudspeaker, so that means it has a different media. Okay, it has different medium. Okay, so that means, can you call it to be multimedia? Yes, students, anyone which can say, can you call TV to be multimedia?
Multimedia.
And what about multimodality?
Human senses.
Can it be both?
Huh?
Can it be both?
So as per the definition, you just tell me, what did you understand? That TV is a multimedia or multimodality or both?
Ma'am, multimedia.
Okay, so some are saying multimedia, and I heard one saying both. So any more? So screen has your visual modality. Okay, as per the definition, you can see the screen has the visual modality. Loudspeaker means you have your auditory modality. And both has a different medium as well. So as per the definition that you have seen here, it can be considered as both multimedia as well as multimodality. Okay. Okay. It can be considered as both multimedia because you can see pictures through the television, plus you can hear some voice, which makes it to be multimedia, and also multimodality because both the modalities are involved, that is visual and auditory. But you cannot define a system as both multimedia and multimodality. Okay, so as per the definition that we have seen here, it seems that television is both multimedia as well as multimodality, but in real life you cannot call a system to be both. Okay, you need to define as a single term, that is whether it is a multimedia or it is a multimodality. So the final answer is actually the television is a multimedia. Why it is called multimedia and why not multimodality, we will see this now. So Okay. So similarly, for example, in a movie hall, the same kind of you will have visual as well as auditory. So it is both multimedia and multimodality also, as per the definition till now. That is your movie hall. Then you have your smartphone. Okay, smartphone, which has your screen, which has your vibration, which has the loudspeaker. Okay, so the same goes with PC. Okay, you have the screen, you have the loudspeaker, and so on. So, as per the definition till now, you call it to be both. But let us see why we cannot use both the terms multimedia as well as multimodality. Okay, so we need another alternative definition so that we can distinguish the term multimedia and multimodality. Okay, so you have another definition now. So this is an alternate definition. So multimodal systems. Okay. So a multimodal system would be a system that provides more than one user input mode to interact with it. Okay, so this is an alternate definition. A system that provides more than one user input mode. Okay, you have input 1, input 2 to interact with it so as to produce your desired output. Okay, say for example you have your smartphone. So smartphone would be a multimodal system. Okay, a smartphone would be a multimodal system just because it offers you have a touchscreen, which comes your touch sensor, and also it has your microphone for your speech. Okay, so it takes the input as a touch as well as your speech. Okay, so such kind of so television, actually I'm referring to the ones which we not the not the one that takes your speech as an input. Okay, the old ones. So smartphone, you have this two, when you have this two input as touch and speech, so we call it to be multimodal system. Anything which has more than one user input mode to interact with it is termed as your multimodal. Okay, so this is the alternate definition that we have. Okay, so this will distinguish your different systems into your multimodal and multimedia. Okay, say for example your old televisions, you just need to turn on your remote and switch on the TV. Okay, so input is just to switch on, so it does not has any modality as an input. Okay, so here you can see it has a multiple modality as an input, that is your touch, speech, and so on. Okay, and similarly the alternate definition of modality, you can call it to be, that is a system that provides one user input mode to interact. Okay, modality is with one user input. Okay, so old television, you don't provide any human sensors in order to switch on the TV. Okay, so so smartphone, you use some human sensory organs in order to your operate this particular object. That's why we call it to be a multimodal systems. Okay, so this is the difference between your multimodality and your multimedia. And also you have another example, say for example your robot. Okay, so a robot which can interact with the input as your speech, or you input as your, say, gesture or anything. Okay, so in order to operate this particular system, so this is also known as your multimodal. Okay, because you are using different modality as an input to operate the system. Okay. uh, so okay, so this is actually how the definition of multimodal progressed during the years. Okay, that is, first they introduced this particular definition which didn't work. So they wanted to distinguish the difference between the multimedia and multimodality. So therefore, this particular definition was being introduced. And later, this particular definition was being modified. So let's see the second modified one definition. So let's see what this definition tells us. So this definition tells us that a multimedia system is an interactive system that provides information via several output channels. So mostly multimedia is focused on the output side. Okay, several output channels. So the output can have multiple channels. For example, it might have sound plus graphics and so on. Okay, that is at the output end. It is mostly focused at the output end, and whereas your multimodality is mostly focused on the input end. So multimodality or multimodal system. So multimodal system is, you can say, multimodal system processes two or more combined user input modes, such as, so these are examples, such as speech, touch, okay, gestures. So these are the input end. Then head.
मैम सो स्मार्टफोन अभी भी दोनों ही हुआ ना, मल्टीमीडिया एंड मल्टी मॉडल.
देखिए स्मार्ट मल्टीमीडिया जनरली तुम्हारा इनपुट एक्चुअली कैटेगराइज करने के लिए यू हैव टू लुक एट द इनपुट एंड. ओके, इनपुट एंड में तुम्हारा अगर इफ इट इज यूजिंग दैट इज your human perception, yani ki koi human sensory channels, if it is being used, we call it to be multimodality. Okay, now and you will get another definition. रुको अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है ये second modified definition है. Third modified definition में it will be cleared. ठीक है, smartphone you call it to be multimedia, but mostly in general, in now, if you look at the research papers, you will find it to be called as a multimodal system. Okay, we'll come across it. Let me move on to the third definition and then I'll clarify it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it processes two or more combined input modes, and the output will also give that many number of modes. Okay, that means if you have speech plus touch at the user side, input side, you will have a speech plus touch at the output side. Okay, so this was a definition which was given by a researcher in 2012. That is, I'll name the researchers, Sharon Ovied. Okay, so she said that a multimodal system processes two or more combined user inputs, okay, in a coordinated manner in order to give a multimedia output. So she framed it in very, she combined the two definitions. Okay, so it's like you process the input part is done using your multimodal, that is the human sensory channels, and the at the output end you get similar to that of your multimedia system. So otherwise I'll just write it down. So for a truly multimodal system, she defined these two things. That is, for a truly multimodal system, the information we provide at the input, we provided the input, must coordinate with each other, must be related and coordinated, to give the output. Okay. And she said that the multimedia system does not looks at what input it has. Okay, it is mostly focused on the output. Okay, output of the system. But with this definition, also it was not much clear about few of the few of the system, how it can be distinguished to multimodal and multimedia. Okay, so comes your third definition. Okay, so comes the third definition. So third definition was given by a researcher, Benoit. So he said that a multimodal system represent and manipulate information from different human communication channels. Okay, so please see this definition carefully. Communication channels at multiple level of abstraction, or you can just ignore it. Multimodal system represent and manipulate information from different human communication channels. These systems automatically extracts, I can say, extracts meaning from the multimodal, raw data, and gives meaningful information, or gives desired information. See, any system, okay, any system that uses any of the human sensory channel, okay, or human communication channel and sensory channel is same, that uses human sensory channel as an input, you will call it to be multimodal. Okay, so any system which uses the input as a human sensory channel, you will call it to be or a modal system. Okay, modal system. And if you are using multiple human sensory channels, we call it to be multimodal systems. So what Benoit said that so if a system has multiple inputs as a human sensory channel, and okay, plus So this information plus what will the system do? The system will so this is a raw data that we have. So if the system extracts meaningful information from the raw data and gives the desired output, then this particular smart system is what we call as a multimodal system. Okay, he said two things. That is, first is the input must be human sensory channels. Okay, human sensory channels. And second is he defined that the system must be able to capture this raw data and then process it so that it can give out the desired output. Okay, so if this process is being carried out, we call it to be multimodal system. Okay, that is, the processing is done by the system. So I'll repeat again. What is a multimodal system? You give the input will be your raw data, definitely. That is your, either you will be using your hand, or let me call it to be gesture, or you were using your speech. These are all raw data. Okay, these are all raw data. So this raw data, okay, say this is speech, this is gesture, this is your facial expression or something like that. Okay, this is the system. So this is the first thing, that the input will be your human sensory channel. Second, the system will take up the raw data, process it so that it can give meaningful information, and we get the desired output. Okay, so second is to convert it into meaningful information so that you get the desired output. Okay, so now can you distinguish, so let me take up these same examples that we have discussed right now. So now tell me, what about your televisions and so on? Chalo ek ek karke bata. Just a second. Whoever are there. So batao, Astha, Tanmay, Torsha, Utkarsh. Is this definition, I mean, enough to categorize your multimedia and multimodality?
Multimedia depends on the input or output mode.
Right. So is it clear? I mean, so are you able to distinguish whatever applications that we have discussed, TV, your what do you have, your smartphones and so on? So are you able to distinguish them between multimedia and multimodality now?
How is smartphone again multimodal? Because of the input. Because we have a look at the input for deciding if it's multimodal.
Just one second. Okay. TV, smartphone, and what are the examples that I have discussed? PC and... Chalo, ye teen le lete hain. So TV, television. Now, a comment about television. Is it a multimedia or multimodal?
Multimedia.
Media.
Chalo, correct. PC.
Multimodal.
PC who is telling multimodal?
Tanmay.
Chalo, Tanmay is saying multimodal. Okay. Anyone else?
Hello. Multimodal.
Okay. Tanmay, can you tell me what are the modalities that are used?
The touch that we get through the mouse pad of the laptop, and the camera, the webcam,
Okay.
and through the speaker also, like we use in the video calls and all. We are giving input through speech.
Right. Okay. So, let me ask someone else. Torsha.
Ma'am, confused that how why it cannot be both.
Still confused with why it cannot be both?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it can be multimedia also, na?
Because multimedia, if we are focusing on output side, then it would be multimedia. If we are focusing on input side, then it would be multimodal.
So multimodal, see, multimodal is something a new term. So in case, see, your smartphone is also called as multimedia, right? It comes under your multimedia as well. So basically, because the output you are getting multiple, that is multiple media as what you want. But in case if that particular device or whatever object you are taking as an example, if that particular application has the input to be means any two or more than two human sensory channels involved, you will call it to be multimodal. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Okay.
हाँ, बताओ.
ma'am, according to the second definition, we can clearly define, because according to second definition, the multi-model system should have multiple inputs as well as should give multiple outputs.
Right. So multiple
So
input means, for example, you have this a device called your say your smartphone or phones itself. When you provide the input as a uh, when you use OK Google, you get back the output as a speech only, right? So when you use speech, you get the output as a speech. When you use when you whatever, if I'm just referring, okay, any system which gives you the desired output, okay. For example, you're using one of the visual channel, okay, visual, so eyes, say retinal. So whatever applications that you will select at the output, if it is performing using this particular multiple human sensory channels, then you will be calling it to be multimodal. Okay.
so can't we say that multimedia is a part of multimodal? If a system is multimodal, it will
Huh.
be multimedia because it is giving multiple outputs.
See, a broader respect, if you check, because multimedia generally looks at the output end, okay. So at the output end, generally everything you can call it to be multimedia in general, because at the output end, you all the multimodal system would be giving your multiple media as an output. So you can call it to be multimedia, but in order to clearly specify, multimodal is a subset of multimedia, you can call it. In order to
Yes, ma'am.
clearly say which of the object or which of the application is generally a multimodal system, you need to understand this definition, multimodality. Okay. You will be given a set of say example 1, example 2, okay. It says a system 1, system 2, system 3. So you will be asked which one is a multimodal system. So you should be able to categorize that particular thing. Okay. चलो हाँ Okay, so you understood what is multimodal system. So basically, what is the final conclusion that we have? So final conclusion is multimodal system accepts multiple human sensory channels, and the system will process that particular raw data into some meaningful information so as to give you the output or the desired output. Okay. So that is the main definition. So chalo, now domains of multimodal system. Multimodal system. ठीक है. Active input. Okay. Before this course, have you heard before this term multimodal? Anyone? Anyone who had heard of the term multimodal before the start of this course? कोई नहीं?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
हाँ
Yes,
हाँ
ma'am.
उत्कर्ष.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Ma'am,
where did you hear that?
during building an Alexa skill, I heard this model.
Okay. चलो ठीक है. So Alexa is generally, I mean, it uses one modality, right? The speech.
Actually, ma'am, it
Ah.
uses multiple modality because
Okay.
also in our TV, it is like
Okay,
from
right.
Amazon Fire TV stick we can connect.
Right. Chalo, active input mode. Then you have, there are three types of, or three domains of multimodal system that we will be discussing. So passive input mode, and third is the virtual environment. Okay, can you tell me this this modality? I mean, that is the speech based. I mean, multimodal system. Can you tell me at around which year it started? Around, I mean, on the 70s, 80s, 90s, multimodal system. Can anyone tell me? Have you seen any applications related to multimodal system which was used long back?
In camera?
Ma'am, it started in around 2000s only when the PCs started coming with webcams.
Sure.
Ma'am, camera. Ma'am, because
कैमरा
webcam.
में कहाँ है? कैमरा में तो बस
Camera
तुम,
single modality है.
हाँ सिंगल मॉडलिटी है.
मैम उसमें ऑडियो भी तो कैप्चर होता है.
अरे तुम ऑडियो कैप्चर होता है बट आउटपुट एंड में थोड़ी ऑडियो मीन्स थोड़ी यानी कि आई मीन इट कैप्चर्स ओनली द, क्या बताऊं
Ma'am,
मैं.
he is talking about the video camera that came later.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So so other than that, tell me, other than that, when do you think in 2000s कोई ऐसा एप्लीकेशन यू हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड इन यूट्यूब और समथिंग जहाँ पे मल्टी मॉडल जैसे कि कुछ कुछ स्पीच प्लस सम अदर मोडालिटी जहाँ पे यूज हो. स्पीच बहुत कॉमन है, राइट? स्पीच प्लस समथिंग, नहीं पता. I'll show you. It started.
Right.
It started 14 years ago. Okay. हाँ almost यानी कि अभी तो 2020 तुम्हारा 19 something. रुको. It was this are developed by MIT researcher. Okay, MIT researcher Bolt. So let me show you the video of that.
Is it life? Is it about Li-Fi?
No, it's about using the modality voice plus gesture. Okay, so let me show you that. चलो. I don't know whether यहाँ पे put. Okay, so this was being the, I mean, this was the first modality that they had designed 1979. So it's quite interesting. So this is using their
create a yellow circle there.
so it's a speech plus your pointing gestures.
Create a cyan triangle there. Put a magenta square there. Create a blue diamond there. Move that there. put that there. Move that below that. Move that west of the diamond. Create a large green circle there. Oh, shit. Restart.
Okay, so this was designed in 1979. Okay, so this is an example of your voice plus gesture, 3D gestures that they have combined, a multimodal system. Okay, so it's like a user can comfortably sit in a chair, and then I mean, in his or her leisure time, they can use it as an interactive media. Okay, so nowadays you can find many multimodal systems which are in market. So this was an example. I'll discuss many of the new recent papers that has been designed using your multimodal systems. We will discuss that in the consecutive classes. That is one by one. What are the different researches that is going on in India, and what are the different researches that are going on outside India? Okay, and your task will be to find out some interesting applications which you find whether in India or whether outside India. Okay, so each one of you, so your task will be to find out not exactly a research paper, but at least one multimodal systems which is trending nowadays. Okay, in next class I'll be asking you one multimodal system. You need to explain what that system is, and you have to just present that. Okay, if you get a YouTube video, that's fine. You share it in our next class. We will see to it. Okay, is it clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so each one of you will bring some or bring one at least multimodal system. Okay, it should be multimodal, okay, not a single modality. So multimodal system, which I mean, which is in recent trends, whether in India or outside. Okay, so should we continue with this domains of multimodal system now, or should we do it in next class? Huh?
Next class.
Next class will be fine.
हाँ चलो next class हाँ
It's 4 o'clock.
चलो ठीक है then I'll continue this in next class active passive virtual चलो ठीक है next class but it's on Monday right okay so you have 2 days time Saturday ठीक है आज चलो you need to just look upon some device right so Saturday Sunday you are getting try to bring that on Monday ठीक है or else we'll do one thing Astha and Tanmay you show it to me on Monday Torsha and Utkarsh you show it to me on Wednesday okay
Okay, ma'am.
तुम चारों
Okay,
ही
ma'am.
रेगुलर हो बाकी 3 कौन है what are the other 3
Ma'am, Raj
Kapil,
was also
Kapil
there.
Raj and Shivam.
अच्छा उनको बोल दो कि उनका मंडे लिया जाएगा ठीक है उनको बोल दो थोड़ा डरा दो कि मंडे लिया जाएगा I'll see to it
ठीक है ma'am.
ठीक है
Okay.
चलो ठीक है then I'll end the lecture here I'll send the materials in the Google Classroom चलो ठीक है okay thank you
Thank you, ma'am.